This is Gerald Overmars. Let's continue to investigate flower names as letter combinations. Every letter has a certain position of focus, and we deal with these focuses. There's an organized structure that is used to recognize these positions of letters in association also with with framing them into a spatial and timed um, frame of references. We deal with this frame unconsciously, but we actually also deal with the naming of these flowers also, that they also in that way will describe what the form is as well. The focuses themselves have a tendency also in their combination of showing also a formation process, and that is something that you can derive from that structure, can learn to recognize, and I show you from all my examples how this can be done. And there's a resume of the whole theory here at the right, which is pretty much resumed, simplified, and some preparations for the logic behind letters is in to be found in these books at the left. Let's go to Fuchsia. What I will do is I will compare the image from the Fuchsia that I know with the letters and the letter positions, and the letter positions have such a position in the system that I have also a result of what kind of forms can come forth from it. So we should actually derive from it what are the directions that are described in it. The F position, if we look at it in our resume, we see it in the green zone there, and in the green zone on top, so it is at a certain end effect of directions that are related with timing, with changes, and so on. How does that come forward is because there is, first of all, there is a push forward in the beginning, a push forward into the whole system, which leads to the growth process then, because we are now dealing with plants, and the green zone is now, of course, the growth process. So the growth process is going vertical. The F letter is, there are three positions, the horizontal, vertical, and diagonal, always in the whole system. The F is the vertical, and the vertical with the end effect. Because it's at the end effect of the directions, it's already experiencing feedback in the process. So there is some feedback, so that you cannot go directly forward again and again. Like this forwardness of the F also has some contra pushes, actually, feedback process that it has to deal with. So it can't go straight forward, so it has to adapt a little bit. That's what the F letter is, and that's what it expresses. So that's our first letter. The U means that it will deal with these irregularities. The U is a letter from the physical space. So now we're talking about how does that happen physically. These conditions in F are expressed physically. That means that the irregularities of being pushed back will find a solution of that they can still go forward even if they have a certain pushback. That's Fu. It's like a working against irregular conditions and looking for a way to still go forward. Then we have the next letter, which is the C. The C is almost like that compromising solution, let's say, that concentration of solutions that we want to go forward, and we have something is pulling us back. So we concentrate our move forward into just one point. The H actually says, okay, this whole thing we will frame as a pattern. We will frame as a pattern here, the whole range of what works. This will be our where the growth process will proceed and will continue and will be available. It's not very clear at this point how big this is, but this is where the growth process will be limited. I'm not limiting it with the S. I just have an effect out of it. The S is because that's what will in the end will come out as well. There will be come out some end effect. The S is the last letter in the system. It's that final end effect or the ending conditions, which more or less is the last vibrations and movements and outer movements that it could make. I exaggerate it here a little bit because basically I don't know how much I have to limit it at this point. So I just have the right wide range of pushback. So with a lot of pushback, of course, this tail, let's say, is quite large as well, if there's a bigger pushback as well. So without having a very good definition of H, which means H is the space in which the growth process can grow completely. So the full range, the frame in which it can have. I don't have a very good frame, but I do know that the next letters are E and A. So the penetration, which says, okay, I find an application here. I can have the full. I can have a full application actually of a new area, and that area, where is it? It already. Where will it find its entry? In the C, in the H, in the S? It's not very clear. It's almost one letter or one combination of letters, or almost like a combined sound. So I have that in penetration, as you can see in the flower, also in different places, but I have still no clue where the limits are. That's a bit a frustration in my drawing. So I have to think very clearly, how do we really pronounce it? C, H, S are not pronounced separately. It's actually pronounced as the C and H is actually not pronounced as it could be. And is that wide range, vague range that you can more or less see where it goes to. And then you have a kind of image like I have here, but it's much more pronounced as K. So it's fuchs, and fuchs is when it's pronounced as K, focuses mostly on the C. The concentrating point, it comes into one point, and there it's that one point that penetrates through. That's our focus, where I will have a breaking point and can make decisions what can come true and what can not. And that's more like it. That's more where I have to land to. That's more the pronounced range will come forward from that point onwards. So I need to do is go back and focus on the center point, the C, the center point where I start from, which is actually then a selection with the U, with a selection from the U. So there is a selection made, and from that selection, where I don't know very well if I'm going to can get my growth process forward, I concentrate and I try to penetrate. That will be the effect. Fuchs, if I pronounce it with a K without the E now, fuchs is an existing word, and what can be recognized is that intention of I want to go, I want to push my thing, that's the green arrow, forward. There are contradictions for it, but I don't care. I go forward. That's the C. That's the being able. to penetrate even in situations that are not so easy reached. The fox, which is the fuchs, can do that. The fuchs is a word, it's the German word for fox. And even if you look into the form, that's what it is. It is that form which has this, okay, well, let's see what I can do. And it says, yes, I am able to penetrate into these conditions which are doubtful, but I don't care. I am able to penetrate through it. I can even see the tail of the fox, and I can see the form of the head of the fox as well, fox or vixen. And then being able to penetrate more easily, even in conditions that are not immediately make it easy to do so, and you still do, makes that double meaning word of vixen quite funny indeed, actually. When I asked a friend of mine after seeing the movie Vixen, what does it really mean? And he said it was quite funny, and if it was relating to the fox, I didn't 100% understood why. But if we understand that this is really also the intention of the fox, of penetrating through situations which you shouldn't or can't so easily, that is indeed somewhat funny in that way. So the fox will start to penetrate into a point, because there's this K sound also, and this K really makes a decision between these doubtful moments of F and U, which are the description of the doubtful moments, and it is able to find a solution for it and has a point in which the penetration can continue and the growth process can continue. That means that where the ear comes in, whatever the size and range I have there, it is a controlled application where I have all the feedback process that work against me. Now select the point where they won't work against me, and there I have that point where the things will grow out, so that I can have my point of reference where there is actually no doubt anymore, that I have the range of effects from there where I can have all the effects needed that I want to produce. So the breaking point will have that distinctive point, and there I will have to, there I can limit the range of what I can produce and can have as an end effect. So it will be, of course, more limited in the range of where the end effects will show themselves. And that is quite the form. So there's much more beyond it than a form. There's a whole growth process beyond it. It's that limiting. I think you could calculate these kind of processes as well, what they are dealing with and so on. Or maybe I was not so good in describing it, but the forms that I was describing and what is going on there should in fact describe very well not just the form and so on, but also the whole process that is resumed in that little space in which a certain growth processes are allowed and come forward. So it wasn't the easiest one to describe. Sometimes you can sense the forms, like it's almost like an artist who can sense the forms, how they grow to, but describing it then into words is of course less easy. It would be the same thing as asking someone who's fixing your bike to describe what he's doing. That is quite another thing than immediately doing what is needed. But I hope you got a sense of why these letters were used, how these focuses were used, how these focuses found a way out, why also words that are related, like fuchs for instance, are dealing with the same kind of focuses and directions that are also available and visible in the plant as how we describe the plant and the end result that comes out of it in the end. I hope this was enjoyable. Thanks again for watching. Bye.